Hi, I'm Ali Miller. I play on the wing and I am 29, just.
So we're going to start off in Moldova, which we've just been talking about. October 2024, the first Lionesses to step onto an international futsal court. And not only that, but personally for you to assist the first ever goal for Helena, and obviously to score your first goal later in the week as well. What were the emotions like within that squad before, during, and then after that week in Moldova as well?
Yeah, it's a crazy week. I think beforehand, I think there was a decent amount of nerves in the group. Obviously, it's a new experience for everyone that was involved. It was a big thing, obviously, the first Lionesses squad going out. So there were nerves, naturally, but I think it was excitement. We'd obviously had a lot of build-up coming up to it. We had quite a few camps in close succession. So I think just to kind of get on that flight and know we're on our way after obviously everything in the history that's kind of been building up to this point was massive. So we were all really excited. While we were there, it was a bit of a whirlwind, to be honest. It feels like it was both a month long and 2 days long. It went through us so quickly. And we bonded really well as a group while we were there. Obviously, we were in each other's skin for the whole week. So it was good for team cohesion. But yeah, no, it was amazing. And I think looking back on it, it's quite a proud moment to think about. And I know a lot of the younger ones that have come into the squad this year have I think older players that have given that advice and support. I think they've kind of grown that week and have been able to give that kind of to the newer players coming in. So yeah, overall.
Proper baptism of fire for the younger,
What
the
coming
younger
in?
players in the squad as well.
Oh yeah, but that's what it should be. I think we want to be the best we can be, and anyone that's coming into the squad, whether they're young, experienced, whatever, we need to make sure that we're up to standard and we're competing at the highest level we can do. So.
And you're now into the second season of the Women's Performance Pathway. What sort of development have you seen from the group and the performance environment across these camps in terms of preparing players for international futsal compared to maybe last season and then onto this season?
I think the big thing last season was that none of us had really played together before, obviously all from our own club, so there was a lot of time spent on getting that kind of shared clarity around the group. So maybe a lot more in possession work and out of possession work, more focused on how we play together and how we work together. Whereas now we've kind of got that base level of kind of clarity, so we can go and step on to the next level now. We're starting to get the intensity up, the physicality is growing. Obviously those that came back from Moldova know what it's like. Refs are very different internationally than they are domestically. You don't get a lot of fouls internationally. So, we have to prepare ourselves for that kind of battle. And the teams that we're going to be playing in March are definitely going to be up for a battle. So, yeah, it's definitely grown massively.
And talk me through that run and assist for Helena in that opening game as well.
Oh, I remember we had a timeout at one point, and I think it was Ben actually. He literally said to me, just take someone 1v1 on. They're pressing so high, take someone 1v1 on, do what you can do, and go and create something. And I was like, all right. And then I noticed, based on a rotation they had done, they'd put their pivot was marking me, and I was like, all right, if I'm going to smoke anyone on the team, it's going to be you. So I was like, right, this is my chance. I think I might have nutmegged her, and I was like, just got to get the burners on. To be honest, the other Finnish player did do well to recover, but I just managed to get the ball across, and yeah, Helena was there, and thank God she was, because she made me look better, so that's good, and scored our first goal, which is great.
And this group are now training and preparing, working hard to be selected for the 2027 Euro qualifiers. With the fixtures being announced last week, firstly, have you ever been to Lithuania before? And secondly, what's the feeling amongst the group, today, over the week, in terms of our chances going into that group?
Yeah, I have actually been to Lithuania before. I went on a work trip once. I didn't see much of the country, but it seemed nice. So yeah, I think it's going to be quite a lot colder than Moldova is, though. I think I looked it up and it's 3 degrees. So I'm hoping they'll get some nice big coats for our kit. Yeah, the group's super buzzing. I think even just having the group announced, everyone's kind of stepped up another level. Everyone's really engaged and really wants to get into that squad. Ultimately, we have to compete here first to win our space before we can go out there and compete. Obviously, it's great that we're not bottom seed, which is great. So that'll help us a bit going into it as well. But yeah, I think we went and showed how we can play against teams like Finland, and they're 4th or 5th ranked, I think, in Europe. So they're not even in this round. So I think how we played against teams like Moldova and Slovenia, which is kind of where our teams in our group will be. I definitely think, given the progress we've already made so far and what we'll continue to make till March, I definitely think we can go and cause a big upset over there.
I agree. I want to finish a little bit by talking about your career so far, both in football and futsal, and the path you've taken. So in the 11-a-side game, you captained Wolves, and you've moved to West Brom, and then in January you played against Ella of Manchester United in the FA Cup, which is pretty unbelievable. First of all, maybe tell us a little bit about playing United, playing in the FA Cup. And also, what made you decide to commit to futsal full time for this season, and what are your aspirations with England futsal?
Yeah, so Yeah, my time at Wolves and West Brom were both amazing. We've done quite good cup runs with both teams. And yeah, Man United was crazy. I think I've never played such a long stint of football without touching a ball, which was very humbling. Yeah, I think the gap is quite big. Like, there's no hiding it. And it was definitely a baptism of fire, and the speed that they can play at, the physicality of their teams, and ultimately that's mirrored what happens internationally. So, you know, we were playing, I think there's like 6 international players in their squad, in their starting 11, let alone what they then brought on. So yeah, it was quite crazy, but the crowd was huge. The crowd was so loud. They've got such a good backing there, and they're doing great things. So yeah, it was a great day for us. Obviously, not a great scoreline, but I think we held them to 1-0 till like 65 minutes, so I'm quite proud of that. But yeah, I had to take about a week off, I think, after that. My legs were shot. I've never done so much running without touching a ball, so yeah, it was great.
And then, and then the decision to obviously move to Bloomsbury and the decision to commit to futsal. What is it about futsal that has made you want to take that decision?
Yeah, I think I've done both for quite a few years now, and it's hard to manage. Like, you're playing games for futsal on Saturday, games for football on Sunday. Obviously, we're travelling all over the country for futsal. We were going quite far for football as well. So it was always 4 training sessions a week as well. So it takes it out of you when you work a full-time job as well. So it was always a big time commitment. But for me, I was starting to realise, I was like, I can be an international player for futsal. I love the game. I find it so fast and exciting, both as a player and also to watch. And I also think like the mental side of it's massive, like the tactics and all that. Like, I love set pieces. I love like defending 2v1s, all that kind of stuff. So for me, like, futsal's always been my passion. Football's kind of just been a supplementary thing, because obviously women's football's progressed quite a lot in the UK over the last few years. So, you know, the support, you know, S&C, nutrition, all that kind of stuff, and coaching levels around football was always really, really high. So I kind of had that as almost to bolster my futsal. But I think, you know, I had a chat with Sam over the summer about what it's like at Bloomsbury, and he kind of explained their setup, and I kind of realised actually there are clubs in England that are pushing all like forward with the levels of coaching and the levels of support. So, you know, we get loads of analysis done at Bloomsbury. We have loads of one-to-one chats with our coaches. They're pretty much available 24/7 whenever we need them. We do lots of IDP development, and yeah, like training twice a week at really high intensity. So for me, I was like, wow, okay, it was almost like the futsal's now a level where I can be like, I don't need the football. And yeah, it's a great decision, and I'm really happy I made it. I feel like I've developed a lot over the last, 4 or 5 months. So hopefully that will then keep me pushing on forwards, and yeah, ultimately staying in the England squad, being a leader in that group. You know, there's a lot of young players that, you know, need help kind of navigating the world of futsal in England, and when we go internationally as well. So I think I'm happy with the decision I made, and I'm hoping it will then hopefully play out on court in March.
And what do you think the ceiling is for this women's group?
Oh, nothing. There's no ceiling. Like, how can there be a ceiling, right? We've seen what, you know, women's football can do once they get a decent amount of funding in, and they get the support and they get the network behind them. Like, they can go and do amazing things, and there's no reason why we can't do the same. Obviously, they've had a massive head start to us, and we're very much in the early stages. But I honestly believe that with the way the sport's growing, you know, we've got a lot of youth teams out there now, both boys and girls. So there's going to be more and more players coming in. Like the under-19s that came and joined us this season, I was like, ooh, are they going to be okay? Are they going to like struggle physically? Like, nah, mate, they're getting those elbows in. They're really getting into it. And also like the technical and tactical ability of those players is huge, because they've had it from a much younger age than I did. I didn't start playing futsal till I was 18, so I've only had 10 years. That sounds like a lot now, doesn't it? Maybe it's not an easy excuse, but like, these have been playing since, you know, 6, 7, 8. They can go and be great, and I'm really looking forward to what's going to happen in the future.